Right? It's got to start the recording. There we go. I got to get this stuff on YouTube and get like, maybe 2 or 3 views out of it.
There you go. We'll share it and get you some views.
Hell yeah, man. First off, first question, basic one. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing good, man. It's Saturday. I'm off work. I got a 3 day weekend, so I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Doing all right. I mean, can't lie to you, man. This weather out here in Jersey has just been like ridiculous.
Right.
Dude, like last night, I'm going to bed, and I could have sworn it was like a brand new hurricane just started because it was like 40-mile-per-hour winds,
Oh
downpouring
yeah.
rain, lights are flickering on and off, and I'm like, oh no, don't lose power. I got to sleep tonight, man.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the way it was for us a couple nights ago.
Yeah, I
Now
mean,
it's like freaking in the single digits here.
we're not that lucky. We're at 35 at the moment.
Oh yeah. I don't know. It's like 12 or 10 or something right now.
Yeah, I mean the weather's just been absolutely crazy. It's a lot of
Right.
a lot of snowstorms. Like I think you might have seen me post a couple of Steeler stuff on my Facebook,
Oh yeah.
and we're getting ready to play the Bills down in Buffalo, but they actually had to move the game to Monday because I guess there's like a huge blizzard going on down there.
Yeah. I guess there's tons of snow up there.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, and luckily we only got hit with one snowstorm so far, but that's gonna change this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, we got snow Thursday night, Friday morning. That wasn't a whole lot, but we're supposed to get a shitload tomorrow night, I think. So, and by the way, our bass player is the Steelers. That's his favorite team.
Oh hell yeah, man! What team do you root for if you follow sports?
Me,
Yeah,
the Raiders.
Raiders. I thought you would be more of a Chiefs fan since that's down in your area, but
They're probably my least favorite team.
yeah, that's good. I the Chiefs. I used to not care about them until they got Mahomes and all that
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
but we used to every year just dog walk them. It was an easy game.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
the one year they started, it was before Mahomes came in. They started 5-0. Steelers took them down like 26-10
yeah.
and
Right.
took away their record. Like we always beat the Chiefs, and then all of a sudden they get Mahomes, and there goes that dream.
Oh yeah, man. He's a stud. Not gonna lie.
I don't like him very much. I feel like he's getting the same effect as like Brady.
Yeah, I agree.
Better the player, the more hatred.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm not a Patriots fan whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely not, especially
Yeah,
since they beat us this year and almost took us out of the playoffs. So
right.
yeah, I'll do it to you.
Oh
But
yeah.
But all right, so I want to get some of these Gravehuffer questions in. I got a lot of heavy hitters for you.
Right.
We got to start it off as my one good buddy would do. Please take me back in history on the origins of Gravehuffer.
Oh yeah, thoughts and concepts. Here we go. So basically, man, we've been around. This is year 16, man. We're on year 16,
Oh
and
shit!
it's fucking nuts, man. It's just I can't believe it sometimes. Like we were talking about this the other day when we played a show last weekend, and we were talking about how long we've been around. And Mike and myself, the bass player, like we've been playing in bands together since like 96, 97.
Shit.
And yeah, and we were in this punk band called Initial Detonation, and like we put out some EPs and we did some touring and yeah, dude, it was so much fun. That last song you played, that So Self the Shepherd, is actually an Initial Detonation song,
Oh shit.
and
Okay.
Gravehuffer just basically covered it because it was three out of the four guys at Gravehuffer were in that other band, Initial Detonation. That the drummer, our original drummer, Larry Deerdorf, myself, and Mike Gilgy, the bass player. And then we had James singing, and he was just somebody that we knew throughout the early 90s coming up through the scene. He'd go to shows, and he was in bands and stuff too. And so we'd known him forever. But same with Travis. Travis is our current singer. He's actually best friends with our previous singer. So kind of a small world, but the music world is definitely a small world, but anyway, history, yeah. Like I said, we've been around 16 years. We used to be called Crom, but there were so many bands called Crom out there, and we this is when the internet wasn't. Like, this is kind of prior to social media, 2008 when we started, and when we started getting on like MySpace and stuff like that. Facebook was just starting to be a thing,
Yeah.
and we were starting to see other bands called Crom, and we were getting confused with them, and people were asking, "Hey, are you the band from Illinois, or are you the band from Italy, or whatever?" I'm like, man, we need to change our band name. So
Yeah.
we changed it to Gravehuffer in 2011, I think it was, and at the end of the year, I think maybe 2012. But so yeah, and we've had a Spinal Tapish revolving door of drummers since 2017, I think. But um, you're getting an exclusive here. We're
Appreciate
actually getting ready to try out a new drummer here in a couple of days,
it. There you
and
go.
he's a local boy, and we actually played with his band last weekend, and he lives like 20, 30 minutes away. So it's versus Todd Morrison, the guy who's with us right now. He lives in Colorado. It's like 10, 11-hour drive.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's tough to make that work. And I mean, if we were like a huge band or whatever, it wouldn't be a big deal. But, we're just scraping by and every little penny counts. And so, having to pay Todd's gas back and forth is kind of rough.
Yeah.
But Todd's fantastic, and he's done a killer job, and he's a fucking killer drummer. But anyway, yeah, we're fingers crossed that this guy's going to work out. We'll see what happens. But but yeah, I mean, like I said, we've been around a long time, and I don't know if we got 4 albums out. We're writing for our fifth right now. I don't know how detailed you want me to go. We usually play like 30, 40 shows a year. We try to play everywhere. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we do the weekend warrior thing, you know.
You said
Just
2008, 16 years ago, and I actually had to do the math in my head on that one. That does not sound right, but it is right. It's
yeah,
just what, like, I don't know, man. Time's flying. I keep
it
saying
is,
this. Like, it's such a generic thing to say. Everyone's like, "Oh, time's flying," but like it really is, because I
man.
started when I started here, it was July last year on Castle
Yeah,
Black, and
yeah.
I blinked and I'm doing a fucking Christmas show. I'm like, wait, what?
Right.
Now I'm sitting here in January, and I don't even know, man. I feel like people say time goes faster as you get older. I'm only 20, but time seems like it's just going out the window, dude.
Holy crap! So you were like 4 years old when we started.
Now I was 5 years old. I'll give you a
Four
little,
or five, yeah.
give you that correction. Cause I'm gonna be 20. I'm gonna be 21 this year. That's the big
Hell
year.
yeah. Yay.
The year where I wake up in people's houses where I don't know who they are
Yeah,
or how I got there. That's this year.
yeah. It'll happen.
But yeah, I
It's
mean,
happened to me.
2008 is just wow, man. Like
Is it?
I just can't believe that 16 years ago. I was thinking like, okay, maybe it's like, like 10, 11, but I don't know, man.
Mhm.
I'm fixated on that. I don't know, even know why I'm fixated on that, but
That's cool though, man. That's
yeah.
cool.
But yeah, hopefully that drummer works out for you guys. I don't know
Yeah.
how your history's been with other band members that's came and went. I don't know if you've had any some people who weren't so good or whatever it was, but hopefully this guy works out really good, man.
It's not really. It's not necessarily been like ability or lack thereof as far as like the previous drummers. It's just been a lot of the time. It's just down to location,
Yeah.
moving away or whatever, or just life gets in the way kind of stuff. Like our original drummer Larry, he was with us from '08 to 2016, and like half the time we were a band, and he was on the first two records, and he just he's a traveling welder, and he just basically couldn't take off enough to devote time to the band.
Yeah.
And so he was like, man, I'm gonna have to quit. So basically, he let us know like, hey guys, I'm not gonna have time to do the band stuff anymore. And like he'd be gone for months at a time, and it just wasn't gonna work. And so we tried out a couple of different people. One guy lived about an hour away or so, and it was kind of the same thing. He's like, man, it was kind of fun for a little bit. He was in the band for not quite a year, I think. And we played some shows with him, and he's on a, we were able to record a song with him, which was cool. And then he was more our age. We had known him forever, but it was kind of one of those things where he just didn't have the time we were using up for him, because we were like, we want to tour and all this stuff. And he's like, man, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah.
And we got a younger guy from the same city, and he was all down to tour and stuff, but he was in a lot of bands. And the age gap was pretty big. Like he's gosh, he always called us Dad Huffer. So much older than him. And so we always kind of chuckled about that. But his name was Casey. Real cool guy. He's on the EP we put out, Demon Face and Stalingrad's Cross. He played drums on that. And then after that, we got Jay, and he was another case of he lived in the area, and then work forced him to move away, and then he'd be like 4 hours out. He's like, I can't travel 4 hours to and from practice, and it was just like we just kept losing people due to distance.
Yeah.
And then we've got Todd with us right now, and he was just another person we knew from way back in the 90s. He used to live in this area, and then he moved to Colorado Springs, and he was in town, and he just happened to come to a show, and we're like, oh, we can't find a drummer, and we had a guy that was filling in, but he was in a bunch of other bands. His name's Luke, and but he sings and plays guitar in a band and writes, and so like, who wants to just play drums in a band when he can have his own band where he calls the shots and writes the music? And so that was basically like, we just kept having fill in after fill in after fill in, more or less.
Hey, I mean,
so yeah, we'll see what happens, and fingers crossed for the new guy, and we'll, if things work out, we'll probably have an announcement soon on that. So
here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to, man, if it ever comes down to it, you just shoot me a line, move me out to Missouri. I'll start banging drums. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but we'll try. You know what?
Right, there you go.
Teach me how to hit a couple notes, and we're going. I tried to do I wanted to do percussion back in like band class back in the day. I ended up landing fucking clarinet of all things, but
right on. Yeah, my kids are all in band.
Yeah, I did it for a couple of months. Now, I had my band teacher was kind of an asshole. Like, he just, like, screamed at me one time. I remember just, like, it was just this particular time he screamed at me for talking. Well, because I guess, he was doing, like, a one-on-one with somebody, and for some reason, the clarinet people were supposed to be in there. And at that moment, I was just like, I'm done with this. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
Like, I'm a 9-year-old kid, man. I had sensitive skin back then. Simple stuff bothered me, so I didn't continue with that. But I thought about continuing later on in the future and doing drums, but I'm like, I don't see myself doing drums. And then, that'd probably be the only position I can do in a band now, because my singing is awful. You've heard Toasted Cheese. It's not good. Because like I've created like actual serious music, but like I find myself not doing enough of singing and doing a lot more of just talking rhythmically.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
Like I just sound like an AI program trying to read out something that got put into it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It's not my strong suit. Like I've always wanted to do something with like a rock project or like a metal project, but I have, not gonna lie, zero skills. So
I mean, it's just, you just got to realize where your niche is, where you sit in the musical landscape or whatever, and just kind of hone in on what you're good at, and go from there, and then you can expand once you kind of get used to creating, more or less. And because like when I started out, I was awful. Like, I mean, I took lessons and stuff, but and they helped train my ear more than anything. Like I hear stuff and I know kind of where it's at on the instrument, or what key it's in, or the note or whatever. But other than that, I'm like, fuck, I don't have a clue. I just pick the guitar up and just wherever my fingers end up, I just try playing something, and that turns into a song, or turns into me putting the guitar up and trying again later.
Yeah.
It's just, the creative process is strange.
Yeah. So next question I got here, and by the
Uh,
way, Metal Mom just joined the chat. She said
okay.
hello. Hopefully, this question does apply a little bit with Metal Mom. But
Okay.
question is, how did you hear about Castle Black Radio?
Let me think. Um, Gosh, it's been quite a few years. Um, and it was probably through social media. Trying to, I'm trying to jog my memory here, but if the only way I can remember is we probably got tagged in a post by a particular DJ or something that played our music.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows how the music got there? I mean, I may have gotten an email list from another musician or something, or whoever. That's usually how it works. Is it's word of mouth, and people will hit you up, or you post on social media. Hey, my band's looking to get music on the internet, radio, and then people start throwing stuff at you. And I kind of think maybe that's where it came about. This was probably 2017, something like that, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's really when we started, like when we put the second album out, Your Fault. That's really when we started to get more internet like uh, presence, I guess. And because when we put the first album out, there was none. It was just kind of out there, word of mouth, and we were making flyers like the old school way, which we still do that, but
Yeah.
there was no like event pages on Facebook. There was none of that existed. So it's kind of weird. We came up, you know, throughout our history in different ways of trying to get your music out there. Like, well, for instance, in the earlier bands, we were putting out records, which I mean, we still do that, but that was kind of the only way to do it back then. So, or you would record stuff on cassette or whatever. Well,
Yeah.
now you record computers and all that, but that didn't exist back then. So, even when we did our first record, we had a digital recorder. It wasn't on a computer. We didn't start doing that till the second album, and that was fairly new even then. So yeah, it's been interesting coming up with different ways to get your music out there, and internet radio has been one of the best, I gotta say.
Yeah.
And Castle Black Radio, like I said, we've been being promoted or whatever on Castle Black since I believe 2017. Almost
Shit.
positive that's when it was.
Hey man, you know what's something pretty good about Castle Black? I just found this out now from Metal Mom.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is number 9, the ninth year of Castle Black
Wow.
Radio.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
I didn't even know that, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know if I knew that or not either. That's really cool.
I knew it was somewhere in January. I thought it was the 24th. I got my fours mixed up, but
Okay,
yeah, I mean that's pretty cool though.
that is really cool.
But I found Castle Black because my uncle used to work on here as a DJ. He's no longer on Castle Black. I was going to say no longer with us. He didn't die, but
Yeah, yeah.
but he worked here for a while, and he also worked for another station. But I always got into like the concept of becoming a radio DJ ever since I found out he did it when I was like 11 or 12,
Oh,
and
okay.
I eventually ended up stumbling across like a way to make my own DJing site, so I did that for about a month and change, and then I was like, all right, I built up the courage to finally go to Castle Black. But initially, I was just gonna study, see what they do, see what the DJs do. Walked into the chat, signed up my Facebook, and I guess everybody got a whole alert that I walked in. I was like, shit, deer in headlights,
That's
man,
awesome.
deer in headlights. Um,
Right.
Sent my application out to Jay, got all that stuff done. Then they found out at the time I'm 19, so there you go. I'm like the child over here on Castle
Right.
Black.
Yeah. Who
I
was who was your who's your uncle?
He went by two different names. He went by DJ Watchman, and then he went by DJ Mikey Mike.
DJ Watchman sounds really familiar.
Really, he never did shows, so it was
Yeah.
that's kind of like the big joke with him is that he's gonna do a show next year, or maybe if we get him on here, he can do 2 shows a year. Like it was like one of those types of things. Uh,
Yeah. I've heard that name though. I know I've heard of it, but But he never did a show.
He did shows. It was just
Oh, okay.
he would do like one show and then be like, all right, guys, I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back in a week. Comes back 4 months later, does the exact same show that he did 4 months prior to that.
Okay.
So like, yeah, I knocked him on that.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that name, and I was like, "Hey, do a DJ," and then it kind of went away. So that was probably it.
Yeah, he came back here right when I got hired. Even
Okay.
though he was definitely a Debbie Downer to me. He goes, Metal Mom's not gonna hire you. I'm like, all right, well, let's just wait and see. Let's wait and see
Right.
what I get back on the email. And then I see you're hired. I'm like, yeah, I told you. He goes, oh, I want to
Uh,
DJ again. I'm like, okay. So you want
well, I mean, I
to
think as
compete?
long as you're enthusiastic and have the drive, and the software, I don't think is too terrible to get down. So,
Yeah.
if you have a good broadcaster and a decent computer, man, and a good mic,
Uh,
the library of music will come. Once you start getting your name out there, people will be like, "Hey, I want to send you music," and then you'll be like, "Holy shit, my email box is full."
yeah. No, my first show here, man. If you would have heard it, you would be like, "Oh boy." I was shitting bricks live on the air, and
Oh man.
I was just like, I don't even know, cause like at first, cause I was using Sam. That was the program we were
Yep.
using. I don't use it anymore. I use a different
You
program.
okay? Yeah, I know exactly what I'm familiar with Sam.
Yeah, I try not to be familiar after my experiences with it. It
Oh
was
yeah, I've
so
heard it's
bad.
terrible.
But I used it for the first time, and I think I was supposed to do a test run. I don't remember doing a test run, but
Uh-huh.
I get on the air though for the first time, for my first actual show, and it didn't want to start at first. I'm like, uh oh. I'm
Yeah.
like, this isn't
Yeah.
good, and like it kept going back to the auto DJ. And then I finally got on the air, and then I'm like, all right, guys, oh my god, I can't talk, and I'm just like, losing it, dude. I'm losing it like live on the air, but I'm trying to keep
Oh
my
man.
composure because I got Metal Mom listening, I got Jay listening. All I need to do is just mess up one time, and boom, it's like, all right, man, you can go back to your website that you created there, pal.
All right. Yeah, this ain't gonna work. So
but
what are you using now? Like Mixer or something? Or
I use Mix for the auto DJ when I run it, but I
oh, okay.
use Radio Boss. I have a free
Radio Boss.
trial.
Okay.
Got a free trial going off of it, and that's kind of bad because I'm running out of time with it because I think it has like every time you open it, it counts as a use, and it has 200 uses, and
Okay.
I have to open it more than 2 times a week so I can cue the shows and whatnot. I don't do the shows like right on the fly.
Yeah.
I have done
Gotcha.
that before, but
Okay.
usually doesn't turn into a good show. It just turns into whatever I want to listen to if that's the case.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
But yeah, I forgot where I was going with this. Oh yeah, Radio Boss though. I mean, it's a lot better than Sam. Sam, it worked okay, but it kept giving me like error messages all the time. And then
Yeah, that's what I've
eventually,
heard.
I went to go put in a couple songs I got. I got a couple. I think I got an album from Ginger or whatever. Went to go put it in, and it wouldn't open, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. Right.
Lights out for Sam, man.
Right. Yeah. I'm pretty much. I'd say about 2/3 of the internet DJs that I've talked to have moved on from Sam. So, because pretty much that's what everybody used when I first started doing interviews on internet radio. Everybody used Sam. So
Yeah.
I heard all the horror stories, and I always called it shitty ass machine, or you know.
Yeah,
But
that works perfectly.
yeah.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah, I've told some of the DJs, I'm like, hey guys, there's this program Radio Boss. You're having all these problems with Sam. They're like, oh, I paid for Sam. I'm not using that. I'm like, oh well, I gave it a shot.
Uh,
But
yeah, some of them do have the yeah they bought they bought the software because they are that dedicated.
yeah,
Which is good. That's cool.
yeah, I gotta buy a Radio Boss. I'm for one, I'll tell you one, two, three, and this even goes out to Metal Mom. I have zero idea how to pirate anything, so even if I wanted to, I can't even pirate the software. And then on the
Yeah.
other end of the stick, I also don't want like I feel like pirated softwares have a tendency of messing up a lot, so I'd rather just
Oh
buy
yeah,
it.
for sure.
So when this runs out, I gotta find a way to scrounge up $250 as an unemployed 20-year-old without a car, but
Oh my goodness.
I'll figure that out somehow. Alrighty, so next question I got for you is do you have any new music projects coming up here with Gravehuffer?
Yeah, we're we're writing for the next record, and it's, I'd say we've got one song pretty much completely done that we're going to work on with the hopefully soon to be new drummer. And like I've got probably 15 or 20 different ideas on my phone. Our singer Travis, like he's got a notebook with all kinds of just words and phrases, and like there's even a few things where he's got a few paragraphs of things, and we've got some subject matter already kind of pinned down, and for probably I'd say 3 or 4 different songs. So yeah, we're probably gonna take it a little more slow than we did the last records we've done. We'll probably take our time a little more with this one. I can't see it coming out this year, probably 2025.
Mm-hmm.
But we're part of the reason I think we're going to do that is because Depart from So Much Evil like came out in February, but it just came out on CD and digital, and the vinyl didn't come out until I think September or October. I think it was September, and so we really haven't had much of a chance to push the vinyl yet. So we've just had September, October, 3 or 4 months of playing shows to push the record. So and that's people were really excited to get the vinyl since there's 3 different colors and everything. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with the big 22-minute title track, but it's Dante's Inferno, and it's in 3 parts, and so we had each color represent each part of the song, which Inferno red splatter, Purgatory black, and Paradise purple, and we thought it'd be fun to kind of tie it all together like that, and so yeah, that's basically I guess plan for this year is to just play more shows, play places we haven't played before, and just try to hit those spots we didn't get to the last year. And we're already booked into like May and July, and we've got stuff booked into October, and so it's gonna be another big year for us, I think. So
Yeah. You guys got a show coming up in Jersey, right? I don't know if I'm spoiling this one.
oh no man, that is it's not 100% confirmed, and it might be in July. I believe it's in July. I can't remember exactly what date. But yeah, I'm supposed to talk about that with everybody next month. And but yeah, it's gonna be in Jersey, Teaneck,
Mm-hmm.
like North Jersey, right by like Hoboken and all that. So
Yeah.
just across the Hudson from Manhattan, I think. But yeah, it's a really cool place called Debonair Music Hall, and I'd say it's probably 75% like a yes. There's like a 25% chance it might not happen, but I'd say 75% chance, yeah, it's probably gonna happen. And we'll probably book 3 or 4 shows around it. So
Yeah.
we played this place before. It's been 2 or 3 years ago, and it was insane. Like we were driving through Pennsylvania, and we got behind a really bad wreck on the highway, and so we got diverted around the wreck only to get behind another wreck. And so we ended up being late to this show, and we almost lost our slot for the. It was called the New Jersey Metal Fest. We almost lost our slot for this thing, and so I'm talking to the promoter and driving and trying to get all this like shit worked out, and they're like, none of unfortunately, none of the bands could switch with us, and so because it was pretty much a locked-in schedule, and which I don't blame them.
Yeah.
And so because there was a lot of people sharing gear and stuff, so yeah, we're like, oh, I don't know. We got to play maybe 20 minutes of our 45-minute set, which we the thing was we made it. We ran on stage with our guitars. We just jumped up there, plugged into the amps that were already there, and just started playing. And the people in the crowd were like, whoa, we've never seen a band just run in the front door and throw their shit up there and just start playing. So yeah, it was pretty cool. It's on YouTube, that show. And funnily enough, we were a 3-piece at the time. Like our singer couldn't make it, so I had to sing and play guitar, and so it was nuts. But there's some nice professionally filmed footage on YouTube of that, and it's pretty cool, man. It was you could tell we were like just deer, like you're talking about deer in the headlights. We're like, oh shit, we just got to get on with this. And so we had to cut 3 or 4 songs from the set. But no, it was really good experience, and the crowd really liked it. So that was what was cool. They were just shocked that we were able to make it
Yeah.
up there and not waste any time, no fucking around, and just blast through our most of our set.
Yeah. I mean, I got somebody I know who'd want to go to the thing out in Jersey that you guys are gonna hopefully do. I'm gonna cross my
Yeah, yeah.
fingers here. I gotta pay for his ticket though, and
Right,
I don't even have money to pay for my own ticket. So
right.
I
I don't
got
think it's that much. So yeah, that's probably like saying how much it was. Seemed like it was like 15, $20 or something, but it wasn't that
hey man, if push comes to shove, I'll get my friend, put him in a trench coat, put on a fake mustache, and just say I'm part of the band, and
bad. There you go.
maybe they'll
Yeah,
let me in.
maybe they'll let us have a +1 or a guest list.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, I know the band. No, you don't. Get out. I'm like, oh, I do know the band. Here's my interview
That's
with
right.
him. That's not
He's
you.
a roadie. He's a roadie.
Yeah. I'd prefer paying anyways because I gotta help out. I gotta help you guys out. I gotta help out all the other small bands. That's the way I think about it. Like, yeah, dude, it sucks being broke because I got a bunch of bands I've interviewed here in the past. They're all putting up merch and stuff on websites. And I'm like, dude, I'd buy this like right now. I
Right.
don't care. Like for me, price is just a number. Like when
Exactly.
I see price, like for instance, I bought I had this big thing with Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I was working, and I bought
Yep.
like fucking $700 worth of them. Went through a whole check, and I was like, wait, that only $700? I'm like, I thought I spent 1,000.
Right.
But no, that's just the way I am. Maybe that's why I have problems with spending. But at the end of the day, man, I'd prefer to help out and
Hmm.
financially for the bands because it's tough for bands. I was telling this to my mom. She didn't even get the concept of this. But I was telling her, I was like, a lot of these smaller bands, like it's not easy being them. It's not easy keeping their stuff up for this long because they're paying out of pocket. It's not like they have
Hmm.
you know, thousands or millions of dollars to just be paying for all this stuff. Like they're paying a majority of this stuff out of pocket.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's like, you know, we're basically putting stuff out there to pay for the next line of stuff to put out there. It's
Yeah.
like this big circle of funds that are one thing's going to pay for the next thing and the next thing and gas and food and hotel. We're not making anything. We're just basically trying to be self-sustaining, and
Reinvest
so
it.
far it's working. So,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah. All right. So next question here is actually every time I ask every single band this question, it's
Uh,
always like a very hard question for them, but
uh,
it's all right. If you had to pick a song from Gravehuffer that you would say is your favorite, what song would it be?
you know, it changes like it pretty much changes every album cycle. Like personally, right now, mine is "Depart from So Much Evil," no contest,
Mm.
the epic. Um, Mainly, I'm just gonna say like I'm a huge fan of like '70s like prog rock and Rush and Yes and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
And so like I've always wanted to write this big long album side of a track, And Mike and we've talked about doing the whole Dante's Inferno thing ever since like initial detonation days in the late '90s. So this is something that has been bandied about for like 20 some odd years. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Mike may have done something in another band that was similar to the Dante thing, and I can't remember exactly, but so yeah, it's something that's been on the back burner forever, and I'm just glad we were able to do it justice. I feel like, and we had fun doing it too. And I'm pretty proud of the result. I think the rest of the guys are too, and people that listen to the album, that's always their favorite song. So,
Yeah.
I'm really proud of it, and yeah, it's gonna be hard to beat that. And but personally, again, it's kind of its own thing. Like if I take that out of the equation, um, let's see, there's a song on the new record called "The Cryptid and the Iron Bird," and that one's probably my favorite right now. We're hoping to get that into the set this year, so but we got to get a few more bells and whistles going before we can pull it off live.
Gotta have more
But
cowbell,
yeah,
man.
yeah, cowbells and gym whistles.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that SNL skit with the
Yeah,
cowbells.
I've got a fever. The prescription is more cowbell.
Oh man, I Death Before Disco. That's my favorite. I told you earlier. It's
Yeah,
just I don't know. I saw the title and I'm like, this has got to be something, right? Like at first I thought I was finding another Gefilte Fist when I heard the name Gravehuffer, and I'm like, okay, this doesn't sound like Gefilte Fist. I see Death Before
yeah,
Disco. I'm like, all right, let's hear this, and
maybe
I'm like, oh, this is great.
right. Yeah, that's another. That was another Mike concoction. That was another thing he'd been talking about forever. Was we were initially going to do Bee Gees "Staying Alive,"
hmm
and we ended up doing "You Should Be Dancing" instead. I don't know, it just seemed to fit better. But basically, what we're gonna do, there was a thing back in the '70s, like Death Before Disco. People had shirts that said that,
hmm
and the big puffy paint letters and stuff. And we still need to make those shirts, and we played that song in our previous set, and not last year, the year before, and it always went over really well. We never did play the Bee Gees part. We just kind of went into the part where it goes boogie, fast, the metal punk part. But I think next time we play it, we should learn the Bee Gees part. Because we
Yeah.
did record it, but there's like horns and stuff in there, and so we really like went all out when we recorded it.
hmm
But yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot of fun to do. And then Travis's lyrics, it was kind of about basically literally death to the disco era because it wasn't about music at the time. It was just about being seen and doing coke, and it wasn't really about the music. And so that's where punk rock came in and said, "Bam!" That's basically about becoming a punk rock and how it kind of saved the day for music.
Yeah. Next question I got here.
Uh,
I've been waiting for this question. It's the best one on the list.
okay,
Best one, I
yeah.
promise you. What's your opinions on Gefilte Fist?
Ah,
I
it's like there's so much material out there. It's like really difficult to even hear it all. Like he's got hundreds of albums out
yeah.
there, and like it just and it. There's one song I heard. It's like he's like, "Peter, you're stupid. Peter, you suck." I can't remember the song, but that one always sticks in my head.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's always fun. And then I feel like you felt the Fist go through these phases. There's like, um, and it's funny, like knowing how he records it, like in his apartment at
Yeah.
night, and he has to be quiet when he records stuff, and that really cracks me up. But to me, it kind of adds to it. Like it kind of makes it kind of awkward sounding, which is it's like perfect for that style.
yeah.
And yeah, it's funny, and I think it's hilarious that he doesn't care. He just keeps doing it, and it kind of gives me good memories of. I used to be in a band called Satan's Ice Cream Truck, and it was me and another guy named Gary, and he actually does all of our mastering for the Gravehuffer stuff.
Mm.
But he was in Initial Detonation too. He was a singer. But anyway, we were in this band, and it was just two of us, and we were noisy and goofy and weird. We played like pots and pans and trash cans and all kinds of goofy shit. And
yeah.
we'd throw stuff downstairs and record it, and just all kinds of stuff. And so yeah, it was just fun making weird noise. And then it turned into an actual band, and we were kind of doing grindcore stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
it brings back good memories, to be honest. I love goofy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, my first time ever hearing Gefilte Fist, Jay was playing "Hey Bird" on his show, and I'm like, oh, this is funny. They made a song about Bert. Like some band made a song. I didn't even know it was connected to DJ Fist.
Okay.
And I'm like asking DJ Fist, I'm like, yo, do you have any songs from Gefilte Fist? And he's like, no. I'm like, oh. I'm like, all right. And he's like, oh, I found a Bandcamp link here. I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm like, so I download. He's like, I'm like, oh, I have to pay for it. He goes, oh, just put in 0. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, thank you, man. How'd you find out? He says, oh, I'm the one who runs the band. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought it was,
He's a character,
dude.
man. Oh my god.
Honestly, he makes some of these shows that I do like a lot better. Like sometimes he'll be like the only one who jumps in chat, and
Yeah.
it's just a whole personality fest with him. I love Fist, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, speaking of him, we played Tampa, Florida here a couple months ago, and he came and watched us, and I got to do vocals for fuck, what the hell is that song called? Um, um, damn it, shave it off, or what's it called?
Shave it off.
What's
Shear everything off.
what is it?
Shear everything off.
Shear everything off.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
shave
that was
it
a lot of
off.
fun. He's like, hey, you want to come out to my car and do some screaming? I was like, yeah, okay. So yeah, shear everything off. That's it.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. And I actually met him a couple years prior when we played Tampa. And him and Crimson V were both there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really cool. And they had a booth set up, and they were selling Castle Black merch. And, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, we slowly but surely get to know more of our internet friends, so to speak, as we play shows, meet people, make connections, and that's another reason I like going out and touring and stuff. Is just meeting people that we know on the internet.
Yeah.
Connecting with them, personally rather than on the phone or whatever. Which it's great, but I'm glad technology allows us to do that. But there's nothing like meeting them in person and making that connection. And so
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot of fun, man. I love it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, hopefully we can do that this summer with you guys.
Hey, man, crossing the fingers on that one.
Yes, sir.
Jay said he'll be there too, so I'll get to meet you and Jay. Maybe I'll get Jay's autograph.
Yeah, Jay said he was coming, so yeah, that'll be really cool. I haven't met him yet either.
Yeah, no, I almost did. He threw a little event going on in December, and I was initially going to go, but I couldn't get a ride out there. I mean, he lives 2 hours deep from me, so.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, but to tag more onto Gefilte Fist, that's the primary reason why I made that toasted cheese stuff.
Oh, right. Okay.
I was like, all right, Fist says his music is horrible. I'm like, I have no lyrical rhythm, nothing. I'm like, I'm just gonna take the stupidest concepts that I can think about, smash them into a song, and put them up on the internet.
Right.
Like,
why not, man? I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
That's what music's supposed to be. First and foremost, is fun. It's fun to do, no matter what your talent level is, and that's what's beautiful about it, man. Like, it doesn't really matter if you're good or bad. Who's to say if it's good or bad? It's whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Or if it's funny or whatever the case may be. Toasted cheese stuff cracks me up, man. Like, I love. Like, have you ever heard of Wesley Willis?
I have not. No.
You need to check him out because he passed away, but it kind of has that vibe to it. Like, he used to put like one keyboard, and he used this one particular setting, I guess some kind of rhythm setting or demo setting.
Uh-huh.
So every song had the same drum beat, the same bass line and all that, but they'd be at different keys.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would just like, he couldn't hardly sing, he'd kind of talk, kind of what you were talking about, having no rhythm or whatever,
Yeah.
Wesley Willis was kind of like that. And I think you'd love it. Like, he'd have songs about him just going to see bands and then him going to eat at McDonald's, just all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
People cutting their hair, and it was great.
Dude, I know the one song. I think I'm just gonna double check. I want to get my facts straight here on toasted cheese. I gotta scroll up now.
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize we talked this much on Facebook. Oh yeah, there it is. I Hate Seagulls. I got a great story about that song for you.
Oh, okay.
So, that song was recorded, unlike Fist in the middle of the night, that song was recorded at like 1 p.m. on a Tuesday. And my brother was outside my door the entire time while I'm just screaming, I hate seagulls, I want to like punch a seagull. As soon as I'm done with that, he comes into my room and he's like, are you mentally stable? Are you okay? Do I need to take you somewhere? I'm like, why? What's the problem? He goes, I don't know. I just hear some demons screaming, I hate seagulls. And I'm just looking in the mirror and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Is this your brother? Older or
Yeah.
younger brother?
Both my brothers are older. He's
Okay.
31. My other brother's 36. Somehow I'm 20. Uh,
So yeah, the little brother thing. I'm a little brother. Little brothers are weirdos, and
yeah.
I'm proud of it.
Oh yeah, dude. My brothers, they judge me for everything I do. They judge me for the radio stuff I do all the time. So
Yeah, of
I hear shit from them all the time, man, about
oh,
it.
I'm sure.
A lot of the times it's more like they're like, "Oh, you're pretending to be a radio DJ." I'm like, "Actually, we are a licensed station, pal. So get your facts straight."
That's right, man.
Yeah, I always got to throw that down people's throat when they say that.
Yeah.
But
Fuck yeah, man.
I mean, Castle Black,
It's legit.
like I said, man, it's a huge step up from what I was doing. I ran a website. It was called Riffer Rock Radio. I just came up with three random things, tossed it together. It, I'm not gonna lie, I was not licensed. I just had like 70, 80 songs, and I was just playing whatever, trying to practice to become a DJ. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Castle Black has been a way bigger opportunity for me because like not it's not even just about like interviewing people and stuff like that. It's just I'm watching my growth like gradually go up fast
Oh
over
yeah,
time.
for sure.
And where I got in a month doing the other station, I was nowhere near where I got in a month doing Castle Black. Like I got my name out there within a month, way faster.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're gonna have all not to the other DJs you talk to having a chat room, having the Facebook groups, and like plus the bands will share your stuff. You know, you tag them, they share it. Yeah, it is. It just kind of elevates on top of itself and just keeps building and building.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the reason we do what we're doing right now. Like we talk to DJs and internet, radio and get in chat rooms because you never know who you're going to run into, who you're going to talk to. And I mean, hell, there was an internet chat room for another station that basically helped us get a record deal. So yeah, you never know who you're going to end up talking to.
Yeah. And I mean, it's also too very subjective by people as well.
Sure.
I've seen some internet radio stations where it seems like the people more so just care about like themselves rather than like trying to promote bands or promote other people and stuff like that. And that's the opposite of my goal. Like my goal is really just to like I want to play good music for people. That's number one. But the other thing is like if I have the opportunity to help a band that I can actually see is putting in the work and is actually, a good band. Like if I play them, I don't have to press the mute button. Then
Yeah.
I would love to help them out. Like I think I said to you the first time you came into one of my chats, I was like, I'm only playing your music because it's good. That was like
Yeah,
the
right.
first thing. Like if the
Yeah. I was like, yeah, that's cool, man.
if the
Yeah, we
quality
appreciate that.
of course, man. I mean, if the quality of it wasn't good, then we wouldn't be here right now. So
Exactly. For sure.
a little bit of a compliment. I don't give those very often, but
Right on.
all
Thank you.
right. Yeah, no problem. Next question I have for you, because we got on a little bit of a tangent here,
Of
but
course.
any hobbies do you? Or oh my god, I was about to completely butcher the question. Do you do any hobbies outside of music?
Well, you know, I really don't. I just that's pretty much I work and I do music, and I've got a wife and 4 kids, and that all that keeps me really really busy and really focused and just fulfilled, I guess.
Mm.
I'd say. I mean, I collect a lot of vinyl.
Yeah.
I collect, I do that. I'm always listening to records. I mean, music pretty much takes up the majority of my time when I'm not doing everything else. Family stuff. Even when we're doing family stuff, we're listening to music or whatever. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've just never really gotten any other. I've tried other things, and that's just never taken hold. I've tried gardening. I've tried cars. I've tried
Yeah.
several different things, and they've never really stuck. And art. I've just never really gotten to a point to where it holds my interest.
Yeah.
And music just seems to kind of do that for me. Cooking. I've tried all kinds of different stuff. My job, I'm a printer, and It's for at a university, and I'm getting into that. Like I like printing stuff and making stuff look nice, and the end result is always like one of those things that's really fun to finally get to. And I print the flyers and posters for the band and stuff, and like I even get promoters hitting me up on occasion wanting me to print them flyers and posters for shows because I can do it so much cheaper. Even printing and mailing it to them is still cheaper than they can get it printed locally, which is ridiculous. But
Yeah.
you know, I can. I mean, our stuff just doesn't cost anything. You know, it's just so dirt cheap. By the time they pay the postage, it still saves them money. So anytime we play shows, I'm always offering posters and flyers. I'd say at least half to 2/3 of the time they'll say, "Yeah, sure, man, we'd love it to get posters and flyers, and we'll hang them up and whatever." So just another way to help people out, help spread the word, and just be a good person, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, my dad's also a printer, so that's pretty funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He prints for a whole bunch of companies and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I know he did a line of print for the old New York Rangers goaltender. Well, I gotta look at it. Henrik Lundqvist. I have the poster in my room.
Oh, wow, that's really cool, man. I've heard that name.
Yeah, I don't even know how I blanked on it because I knew the name, but I don't know. My head's out there today.
Yeah, I hear you.
I got I live with my brother and he has two kids and his kids like to get really rowdy on the weekend. So 8:30 in the morning, I'm like 2 hours deep into sleep. They wake me up and I'm just it took me like a good hour to fall back asleep.
It's like, I didn't even drink, and I feel like
I'm over here like waking up mid dream and shit and I'm like, "Oh, come on, man. I just got to the best part of this dream and you kids just woke me up." Yeah.
You doing, kids?
Dude, I was praying on everything that I can get sleep because a little bit of a background about me a little bit. I have a insomnia problem, which also it kind of took me out of commission a little bit in December. I was going to try to get you guys on or specifically I guess you on in December, but I was missing shows left, right, and center. You know, I wasn't sleeping at all. I was going like 2 days in a row without sleep, like multiple times a week. So I was really praying to everything that they didn't decide to reignite the sleepless version of insomnia because that version I cannot, I can't function, dude.
Right, yeah.
So
Yeah, you gotta have sleep, man. Sleep deprivation's terrible.
yeah, I live with sleep deprivation, but sleeplessness is I can't do that, man. I put them in two different categories. Like I say, deprivation's like you got a couple hours, and then sleeplessness is just zero.
Yeah, that makes sense, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't get sleep, and it makes you sick. It's like you get like stressed, and you don't eat. And yeah,
yeah,
it
dude.
ruins your mood. It gives you headaches.
I got hit like a fucking train, dude, last month. Just to quickly recap you December, I had insomnia and then got fixed, got sick, back to insomnia, took a week off, got a stomach virus, and then halfway through that day caught COVID.
Oh, jeez.
So I think I'm like 2 weeks free without COVID. COVID wasn't. It didn't like kill me or anything. It was just more of like the fact of like I'm one of those people that like to just like respect other people with it. So I'm gonna stay inside. I'm gonna quarantine. I'm gonna make sure I'm good. And it's not like I go out much anyways, but when I know I physically like cannot leave the house, it's a mental thing that just bothers me.
Right. Yeah, it's frustrating, man. I had COVID. It's been a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and it was, what's weird. Like it didn't just take me out really, but I lost taste and smell, and
Yeah.
that was the weirdest thing about it. Like I couldn't smell anything, I couldn't taste anything. I was like, this is strange. It was a very odd feeling, and I mean, I was pretty like down for the count for like 2 or 3 days maybe, but other than that, yeah, it took about a month for me to be able to smell and taste again.
I would have never even known the recent time I had COVID that I had it. I'm sitting there coming off the stomach bug. It's at night. Like I still can't sleep because my stomach is killing me, and
Right.
my nose is just dripping, dude. And I'm like, allergies probably like something to do with the weather. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what I'm thinking, but I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. I'll wake up the next day, still have the same issue. I'm like, all right, it's whatever. And funny thing is, not my oldest brother, my middle brother, he's rather I should say scared to take a COVID test. He doesn't want it up his nose and all that stuff. So
Oh, the swab.
yeah,
Yeah.
he definitely had it. He just didn't test for it. But
Oh man.
I was making fun of him about it, and I was like, all right, just for shits and giggles, let me just go and shove this thing up my nose. And my mom puts it into the reader, and it just popped up 2 lines immediately. I'm like, whoa, that's a turn of events.
Dang.
And I'm just
Yeah.
like, dude, and I'm coming off like my body's so weird when I get stomach viruses. Like it takes multiple days for me to just get better. Like my appetite, everything. So my body's trying to heal that, and then it's trying to fight a virus at the same time. So I'm just like, oh, I'm doing I did back to back shows with that too, man.
Right.
I gotta get that done.
Yeah, dude, stay hydrated. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah,
Drink that water.
that's what I'm saying. I know. As soon as this interview's over, I'm gonna get myself a ham sandwich, and that's not even a joke. Like my dad,
That's awesome.
my dad picked up 2 pounds of ham, a cold cut ham. So I'm like, all right, I made myself a ham and cheese earlier, and he's like, oh, just letting you know, because my dad just left actually for Florida, but he told me, he was like, just letting you know, you guys are having ham and mozzarella for dinner today. I'm like, okay, 2 ham sandwiches one day, that sounds good to me.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'll fuck up a ham sandwich.
That's what I'm saying, man.
That's right.
All right, so uh, next question I have for you. Now this one's I've asked this one to a couple of DJs before. Usually not DJs. I'm sorry, bands. I feel bad asking this one, but is there any possible way that I can promote like Gravehuffer outside of like the station? If you guys can hand some like merch off to me,
Mm.
I try to word that way without sounding like an asshole.
Oh no, dude. Yeah, like, yeah, we'd be more than happy to send you like some stickers and posters and yeah, stuff like that. Sure.
Yeah, because
Yeah, we're all about
when it comes to that question, dude, the question actually reads, "Do you have any merch you'd be willing to send?" But I'm like, yeah, well, let's try to change that up a little bit. I didn't write that
it.
very
Right.
nicely.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
I've done
No,
that.
and like, yeah, that's a good thing. You know, like we definitely don't shy away from that. You know, we're always trying to send promoters and DJs and stuff like care packs and
Mm,
stuff like that. You know, like I said, mainly stickers and posters, just because you can put that up and people see it. And, you know,
yeah, I did.
that's just the best way to do it.
I got this whole wall right here. Right. Granted, for some reason, when I was like in 6th grade, my mom put Brandon's room right here, so that's still there. Unfortunately, it looks kind of goofy, but I have this whole wall that I just want to fill out with just like bands I interviewed, like their posters, stuff like that. I only got like one thing from a band, and it was just like a message that says, "Dear Brandon, thanks for all the support. Stay rad." And he signed it or whatever. I have that hanging up.
Oh,
So,
cool.
dude, stickers. I mean anything, dude. I'm always game for everything. Um, yeah. I mean, I think that question pretty much says itself there.
Yeah, yeah, of course, man. Yeah, just hit me up on the other side, and let me know where to send stuff, and I'll hook you up.
Yeah, I'll give you my address. Maybe you guys can pop up, do a show in front of my house. You never know.
There you
Block out a whole road. Hey, the mayor of my town actually lives like 2 houses down, and I'm best friends with his kid. So
go.
there you go.
Nice.
Get you guys having a live event right up right outside my house.
All right.
Never know, man. Next question I have for you, because we were just talking about COVID a little bit.
Yeah.
How would you say the pandemic affected Gravehuffer?
Well, quite a bit actually.
Mm-hmm.
We're recording the Necro Explosion album when that happened, and we actually had 4, 5, 6 shows booked that we had to cancel because of the pandemic. And we were recording the record, and we only had like one of us there at a time to track. And when we were doing vocals, we were all switching our windscreens out on the microphones, and we all had our sanitizer. We were trying to be as careful as we could, and nobody got sick. So So
That's
yeah,
good.
that worked out. But when we started playing shows again, we were having to take COVID tests and stuff before we played certain shows in certain places, and we had to really look at the map, and because at the time you could see if there were hot spots and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
when I did get COVID, it was after playing a show, and the kind of sad thing about that was 2 weeks later, one of the bands we played with, their singer passed away from COVID,
Oh man.
and yeah, it was really sad. And so yeah, it definitely affected a lot of us, and people were there were some people wearing, like, I know the first show we played after the pandemic, um, I'd say half to 2/3 of the crowd had masks on, and it was just weird. And we
Yeah.
were wearing masks other than up until we played on stage, and they were, we were all switching microphones out and stuff, and everybody's wiping stuff down, and yeah, it was wild, but there was tons of people there. It was really weird. I think they were kind of missing live music, and that's one thing I feel like one of the good things that came out of the pandemic was it made people not take live music for granted so much.
Mhm.
And ever since the pandemic, I feel like our shows, like the crowds of our shows, for the most part, have been really, you know, a lot of, like, a really good turnout. The attendance has really been on the upswing. So, like, the last show we played here a couple weeks ago, like, there's over 100 people at this local place we play, and
Oh shit.
at that place, it was packed. I mean, it
Mhm.
was crazy, and it was really good to see. And so we just hope that continues. But yeah, I feel like that's one of the positive things that came out of it. It's made people appreciate music and stuff even more.
Yeah, I feel like I see way more people out just in general, like at Walmart or at gyms or
Mm,
whatever.
yeah.
Like as soon as like that pandemic got lifted, like the quarantine laws or whatever
Mm,
got lifted, dude. I used to work
mm.
at Taco Bell, man, and the amount of people I can tell you, man, that just bombarded the place, like it was
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, but I like seeing it now. Like it was depressing, man. I mean, even just for like
It was.
I didn't catch it during that point at least. I caught it way after the fact. Like I had friends hitting me up when I first caught COVID in 2022. They're like, "How did you manage to catch this now? Like you had 2 other years to catch it." I'm like, I don't know, man. Don't know what to say. But
Yeah.
where was I going with all this? I completely lost my train of thought. It's one of those days, man. But overall, it was just okay. Now I remember. It was depressing because it's like I sat in the house like 90% of the time. Like I had
Same.
a I had some friends. We would only the only parties that we would do was just outside in the woods. Like you have to
Yeah.
make it in an outside space. So I'm
Right.
sitting in the middle of the woods, shit faced drunk with a bunch of people who it's my first time meeting. I'm like, this is just not it, man.
Yeah. It was odd. It was weird, and like, yeah, we were just indoors. Like, even my work, I work at a university. Like, I only worked 2 days a week throughout all that thing, and it was all, I only went in for like 3 or 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
And, I normally work 40 hours a week, 5 days a week. And so that was very strange. And I'm just sitting at home, like, and my kids were all out of school, and they were taking online classes. So everybody was we just sat at home,
Yeah.
and it was depressing.
I mean,
It was
I'll
awful.
I'll definitely say COVID affected me badly because we had it was supposed to be 2 weeks, I believe everybody was saying. Right? 2 weeks, everybody stays home, wash their hands, do whatever, and we're back out. And I was in school at the time. It was my junior year of high school,
Oh,
and
wow.
I barely got out of junior year, like passing wise. And then when senior year hit, that just, dude, everything hit the fan because like we were going back to school, but 2 days a week for like 3 hours a day. Teachers were just rushing assignments out, and it got
Right.
overwhelming. And overall, it got to a point where because we also kept going between virtual and in person. It got to a point where it just like I completely just died with the interest. Like the interest just was not there anymore for school. So
Right.
uh, still lacking a diploma, still lacking a GED to this day, man. I decided to drop out and just pursue working, which that worked well because I'm not working, I would say now, but
Uh,
I was working over at I think I mentioned this earlier, but Taco Bell, I worked there 3 times in my life, and that was the second time I worked there, and that was a whole mess on its own. That's a whole separate story. But
Sure.
I needed to actually drop out of school in order to work there during like the daytime hours because I worked there the first time, had problems with the night shift, so the daytime
Right.
was the only time. And my mom was like, "You need a job," and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. I've been there, man. I totally understand.
it sucked, man. Dropping out of high school, like especially everybody's on graduation day, graduation morning. They're walking, getting their diplomas. I'm flipping tacos, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm seeing all the kids that I went to school with come into Taco Bell to get food, and I'm the one ringing up their order, and
Right.
it's just like,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was bewildering, man.
Oh, I'm sure, man. It's like, damn it. Like, you don't know how to feel, I'm sure, but it's never too late, dude. Like, we're all in our late 40s, early 50s playing fucking extreme metal and hitting the road. Like, I mean, it's never, and like, some people, like, would think, oh, I'm too old in life to be doing shit like that. Like, man, we enjoy it. We have fun doing it, and like, my wife dropped out of school and she got her GED and she ended up getting a bachelor's.
Hmm.
She works in a lab and does really well. I mean, it's never too late to do that shit. So just don't lose sight of it, man. If it's something you want to do, then just do it.
Yeah, my I'm looking at in the future doing something kind of like how I'm doing now with I want to do something with DJing like as a
Mm-hmm.
career. So I mean, this is a huge step for me. I think Castle Black was probably the biggest place I can get myself onto at the
Mm-hmm.
moment because overall, there's just a lot of attention with Castle Black. Metal Mom does a fantastic job running this website.
Oh
So,
yeah, for sure,
I
for
feel
sure.
very comfortable having, actual good, knowledgeable people backing me
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh yeah,
working with me and stuff. So, hopefully
that's
one
good.
day I can turn this whole DJing stuff into a career. Or
Yeah,
maybe, who
you
knows?
never know, man. I mean, it sounds like you're getting into something that you have a passion for. So yeah, just keep that going, and you just never know if it'll work out or not. I mean, you may have to have like a day job on the side, but
Yeah.
yeah, just keep with the passion, dude. Never let that go.
That's something I'm definitely doing a lot of. I mean, dude, talk about deer in headlights again. Jay goes to me. He's like, "How would you like to be the new assistant manager of Castle Black?" I'm like, "You trust me enough?" I'm like, "Oh boy." And then Metal Mom's like, "All right, here's our email. You can go get music out of here." I'm like, "What?"
Hell yeah.
I'm like, "You don't know me. I could be evil. You never know."
Right.
But
That's cool,
overall,
man. That they have that trust in you, and sounds like it'll work out for you.
yeah, overall it's been good. I'm
Good.
doing as much as I could to help out Castle Black. It's all about growth, and there's never
Yep.
too much growth for this site. Like
Oh yeah, for
I
sure,
feel
man.
like
You
you
can
know,
always be bigger, better, more productive,
yeah.
all that stuff.
So I'm always there to help out and do whatever I can get done for this place.
There you go,
Alrighty, so I got one last question for you. We've been going
man. Okay.
for how long? We've been going for an hour and 8 minutes. Okay, I did not even know
Wow.
that. I thought it's like a 20-minute conversation. Um, but the last question I had for you was, how was your year of 2023 with Gravehuffer?
And it's probably been one of the better years we've had. I mean, if not the best.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was just really cool. Just speaking strictly on playing shows, like we played some of the best shows we've ever played this year. Like we played in front of 1,500 people in Tennessee a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
We played in Tampa, and we actually got like a not a standing ovation, but like we got cheered on for an encore. Like that shit just doesn't really happen to bands like us. And we had to like figure out, well, what other song do we know how to play. And so we ended up doing a Godflesh cover, and people fucking loved it. And the sound man was like, he was really cool. So we gave the CD, and we always try to get the sound man CD that are really nice to us. But no, it's been on the live front. It's been one of the best years we've ever had, and that's what we're hoping to do for this year is build on that.
Yeah.
And we put out this Depart from So Much Evil album that we feel like is our best that we've ever done. And so I think 2023 was probably the best year we've had in this band.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I could go on and on and on, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a hell of a year, and like I said, I could go on. But some of the best live shows, my favorite, personal favorite live, not live record, album. We do have a live record coming out here pretty soon, though.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we were for the show in Denver that was professionally filmed and recorded. So we're gonna put that out here pretty soon. And the guy that does all of our art, Eric Sweet's doing art for it. He did the last two album covers, last three album covers. So he's gonna do art for it, and we're gonna. I think it's got like 8 songs on it, and then we got 3 cover songs we recorded here. Gosh, a few months.
Yeah.
When was that? Earlier in the year, we recorded some cover songs, and we're gonna put those on there as well. And we're just gonna put it out on CD and digital. But we were thinking about calling it Scattered Clapping, but I don't know for sure if that's what we're gonna call it or not.
That'd be an interesting
yeah,
name.
That's the plan, dude. We got this live record coming out, so. But yeah, 2023, dude. I couldn't ask for a better year.
Hell yeah, man. Good, glad to hear that.
Thank you.
Dude, 2024 though, I'm telling you, it's gonna beat 2023. You guys are gonna have a way better year. Dude, I have this thing where years, if they end in odd numbers, I always have the worst stuff happen in odd numbered years. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so even number years tend to be my better years. So I feel like it's going to be better this year for you guys, and just I honestly for everybody, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's a good outlook.
I had a 2021. That was the year I dropped out of school. It's also I also had a crazy ex girlfriend that'll definitely put a sock in it for a while.
Yeah, I can.
And then last year was just. I mean, there were some good things about last year. Don't get me wrong. Like we have Castle Black Radio, of course, and then some fun little parties my friends threw and stuff like that. But overall, man, I'm just right now. I'm trying to get everything together in my life, trying to get all my life stuff assorted. I'm only 20, so I plays the role into a lot of things.
You got all kinds of time to get sorted out, get things going in the direction you want to go. So.
Hey, the key thing is, I don't think I've ever met a 20-year-old that knows what they're doing with their life yet. So,
dude, yeah,
I'm in the club with them. So, there you go. I'm in the not knowing what to do in my life club.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, man.
You've got all kinds of time to figure that out. So,
I can only say the best thing about being 20 though is when I tell people like who are just listening to the station for the first time or bands, I'm like, yeah, I'm a 20-year-old DJ. They're like, wait, what? It blows the socks off of people. Like I don't know. I don't know if I sound older. I don't know if I sound decent. I don't know what it is, but apparently nobody believes that I'm 20. I gotta at this point, I just have to take a picture of my birth certificate and just start sending it to people.
Right. That's funny.
So it's like I don't know. I think you and Crimson were talking about something like that. When you talked about the interview coming up with me and whatnot.
Yeah.
But oh, he's 20 years old. I guarantee you're probably shocked. Everybody is. But
yeah, I'm a little. I was a little. I think you're the youngest. Well, no, I take that back. I've interviewed with one other DJ. He was a teenager.
Oh shit.
And I think he was like 17 or 18 or something like that. And so yeah, but that's only been one other person.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're hard to come by, man. I feel like a lot of the DJs, not just here, just everywhere, they're older, like 40s, 50s, 60s. So, like, when I've talked to him, I was talking to my brother again about the whole DJing career, and he's like, there's no shot you get hired by a big place. Like, you're 20, you got to be older for that. I'm like, well, I will get older. It will happen.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All you can do is put your time in and put together your kind of your breadth of work, your life's work, whatever.
Yeah.
Put together your resume or however you want to word all that, and your work will speak for itself when it gets to that time. So.
Yeah, man, certainly. But hey, I want to thank you for coming on to the show today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Hopefully, I took you back in history enough, and we talked about ham sandwiches and stuff.
We did. Yeah, with thoughts and concepts, and yeah, it was all great.
Of course, man. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you again. Great interview. I loved it.
Thank you. Yes, me too. It's awesome.
And if you want to, by the way, you can come hang